Today, Clarence Woodhouse spends his time with his family, teaching his grandson Soto. His language that's formed an important part of his story and helped prove his innocence in a crime he always said he didn't do. Last year, he became one of 3 men exonerated in a 1973 murder. But for Clarence's family, the journey isn't over. His brother, Russell Woodhouse, was convicted of manslaughter in the same case. Russell's name could soon be cleared too, more than a decade after he died. His family is waiting for a final decision from Canada's Justice Minister.
I'd be happy to clear his name.
They were part of a group of 4 young men from Penamutang First Nation convicted of killing 40-year-old Ting Fong Chan. Chan was fatally beaten and stabbed one night as he walked home from work.
Russell Woodhouse was still just a teenager when he was arrested in 1973. And growing up here in Penamutang First Nation, he spoke mostly Soto or Ojibwe. But, like the other men charged in the case, he was convicted based largely on a police confession supposedly given in fluent English, even though he barely spoke the language.
Russell was convicted because he was forced to put his signature to a false confession in a language that he did not speak.
Just one of the red flags for the group that has spent years working to exonerate the men. From an investigation that zeroed in on the young men with no evidence linking them to the crime, to police brutality, and ultimately a trial that Innocence Canada's James Lockyer says was marred by systemic racism at every turn.
You'd think in 1974 things would have been better than this, but they weren't. The racism in the criminal justice system was overwhelming.
Hi, Alvin.
Oh, hi.
Decades before Innocence Canada got involved, the chief of the men's community sounded the alarm. But Alvin Thompson's calls in the 1970s were ignored. With a small group of supporters, he tried to bring attention to the case, but no one was listening.
Not the court system, not the police, no one. No, it was a dead-end case in every which way we turned.
Brian Anderson was one of the men finally declared innocent in the case recently. For him, exoneration felt good, but it isn't enough. The years he spent in prison, that time he missed with his family.
Like, apology just doesn't do it. Like, I can't put apology into my bank account.
But the Woodhouse family is still waiting to hear that apology one last time. While Clarence was exonerated this past October, Russell is, for now, still considered guilty. But that's not how Clarence and his family remember him.
Very nice, kind, loving. The laughter. The jokes. No. Yeah. I'm gonna miss those times.
Unlike the other men involved in the case, Russell Woodhouse won't be around to see his name cleared. He died of cancer in 2011 and is buried here in his home community of Penamutang First Nation. His case is being looked at by the federal government. Innocence Canada says it's the first time a justice minister is reviewing the case of a person who's died. A Justice Department spokesperson says the review of Russell's conviction is ongoing, but wouldn't give more details. An exoneration would mean the world to Russell's family, and they know it would to him, too.
We would have been happy, yeah.
One more step towards closing a painful chapter in their family's story. Caitlin Gowerluck, CBC News, Winnipeg.